Hey, Matthieu.
Hey, Jerome, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Welcome everyone in this new video from the Oracle A team. Today we're going to discuss Fusion data extraction for analytics use case. Because that's a question we've got quite often. We see a lot of customers asking, how can we get data out of Fusion now that it's a cloud service? If we want to report on that, build some nice dashboard, how to do batch extraction, things like that. And there are different ways to do it. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Matthieu?
We have 5 main recommended methods to get data out of Fusion SAS. The main one, which is the most recommended one for batch extract, is the BI Cloud Connector. That's the first one we're going to discuss. Then for specific payroll or other HCM data, we have the HCM Extracts. We also have the Fusion Analytics solution that's basically a prepackaged data pipeline and a prepackaged star schema that's landing on Autonomous Database. We have the REST APIs. And then finally, the one that we shouldn't talk about, but we'll talk about a little bit, it's OTBI and BI Publisher that we should use as a last resort for very specific low volume and tune reports. We have a great blog from our peer Angelo on that. That's in the reference down there.
Yeah.
And if you have any real-time data extraction use cases, usually what we recommend partners and customers is to work with their account team, their ECA or their CSM to engage with the Oracle development team or ourselves, the A team. So let's get started with the BI Cloud Connector, BICC. You want to take it away, Jerome?
Yeah.
So the BI Cloud Connector, as I mentioned earlier, is the recommended approach for batch extracts for Fusion SAS data extraction. It covers the four pillars: ERP, STM, HCM, and NCX. It extracts the data into a comma-separated value format that can land on either the built-in file server on Fusion, on the Fusion side, that's called UCM, or on OCI on an object storage bucket.
Mm-hmm.
It can be scheduled from within the BICC. There's different types of schedule frequency, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. Or if you want to use a specific custom schedule, you can also use the SOAP API to execute kickoff BICC extract jobs.
Right. And what I like with BICC is that there is a built-in integration with Oracle Data Integrator, OCI data integration, and OSC. So basically, that's the tool of choice used by all the other Oracle products to extract Fusion data in a batch mode and then transform it. So all of that is integrated, and you don't have to schedule that from BICC if you're using that from these tools. So I like this integration. And
it scales. Okay. It scales very well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to the next method. We have in HCM, we have HCM extracts. That is what the HCM product management team recommends for bulk data extracts from HCM. There is a set of HCM extracts predefined, preceded within Fusion that you can use to extract data that you can customize that well. If you have some payroll data and you want to extend that, you can customize that from within the HCM data exchange panel. And the data can land in a CSV format in different type of recipient, like UCM, like the ICC, but it can land on the FTP. It can be distributed through emails, through a file directory system like WebDAV, and it can be scheduled either from within Fusion or also externally using SOAP API calls.
Yeah, so for HCM, for the HCM pillar, that's definitely the right way to extract.
Yeah, definitely from not only a coverage perspective, but a scalability perspective and volume. Yeah, that's usually the way to go for specific HCM data.
Cool. Okay.
So we had BICC, we had HCM now. So Fusion Analytics, and it's been released for a couple of years now for ERP, SCM, HCM, and as well as CX, all the pillars. It's basically a set of a prepackaged data pipeline that gets data out of those SaaS applications. It can be extended to non-Oracle or third-party applications, either using your own custom ETLs or using what's called the managed pipelines. So if you want to get data from EPM, Salesforce, that are non-Fusion SaaS, you can leverage that the data augmentation feature from the pipeline to get data into an autonomous database. So that package data pipeline basically populates a star schema within the autonomous database. And on top of that star schema, we have a semantic model that provides additional business definition to the data that's in the star schema. And also a set of prepackaged analysis and dashboards and KPIs that are available through an Oracle Analytics Cloud. So everything you see here on the red pieces, completely Oracle managed. It means that the ETL, the data transformation, the semantic layer, and the prepackaged content, it's completely Oracle managed. You don't have to do anything about it, but you can extend it. If you want to create your custom dashboards, you can do that using the OAC, some of the data visualization from OAC. You can also extend the semantic model if you want to create custom subject areas within OAC, within FAW, and you can also onboard third-party data sources into the custom schema within autonomous database. So that's Fusion Analytics, and this is really the strategic product or service from Oracle.
Yeah, it's getting improved quite a lot recently. So and it will continue to be improved for a long time. So that's a really good product to use for the future. Yeah,
totally. Definitely. And there's also some predefined. So if you want to do analytics, advanced analytics, augmented analytics, or AI and ML, you can leverage either the database engine to run that, or the OAC models that are available. But there's also some AI apps that are embedded within OAC, within FAW Fusion Analytics, sorry, around AP and AR predictions, for example. So there's two prediction applications around AP and AR.
And I think it's really interesting to be able to do that without having, you can get started even if you don't have a data science team or something like that. So I really like these apps.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay, cool. So now let's move to REST APIs. So the Fusion pillars offer REST APIs to access all their data. And that is usually used for application integration, but it can also be used for data integration. It's a great way to retrieve a small volume of data, so not billions rows at the time, but a few rows. I think it's really good. For instance, you can use it to retrieve just the data related to the current day. So you can use BICC for your daily load, but then if you want to make sure you also have the data, all the transactions that happen today or something like that, you can use REST APIs to get the delta. And you'll get, every time you run these REST APIs, you invoke them, you'll get the current data. So I really like that. That's one way to use it. So for anything small like that, small volume of data, it works really well. And you can invoke these REST APIs from any REST client. You can use functions, or you can also use the Oracle database. There's a PL SQL package called Apex Web Services that lets you invoke that. So you can invoke it, store the response in JSON directly in the database, pass it in JSON directly in the database. The database is really great for JSON now. So I really like that. Apex also comes with a data synchronization mechanism. So you could just define through the Apex admin UI, just create your data source, REST data source, and decide to synchronize it every day and synchronize that to a table, and it will do that automatically. So that's really easy. You've got the link in the reference below. We'll put that in the description as well. So have a look at data synchronization. It makes it really easy to get REST APIs. So that's good. And then finally, we'll discuss OTBI and BI Publisher. Matthieu, maybe you can speak about OTBI. You know it better than I do.
Sure. So OTBI gives you basically operational reporting capabilities on top of the Fusion data. So basically creating your own reports and dashboard directly on the live data. So as I mentioned, it's on the live data. So if you try to use it to extract data, then there's a potential impact on your actual business and operations. So it should only really be used to create reports, to get the point-in-time view of your data, but not to extract data. Even though there's a capability, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be using it.
Right, and I think it's the same with BI Publisher that we're going to discuss now. So BI Publisher, it's a pixel perfect reporting tool. It's really great to generate a PDF file, for instance, an invoice or something like that. So it's really pixel perfect with the data that you need from Fusion. It can also produce CSV file, and it can query the Fusion SAS database, but it was not designed for large data extract. So if you try to do too many large extracts, it will have an impact on the database itself and on your entire pod. So that's not recommended at all. We recommend to use it only to extract data for tables or columns that are not covered by the BICC VOs, because BICC is the preferred way, as was discussed in the first point of this video, right? If you need to do BIP extract because you can't do it with BICC, it's not exposed as VOs, your queries need to be tuned. It has to be really low volume, executed at a low frequency, right? So because you don't want to impact your Fusion pod. So really, it's really important that it's tuned, low volume, and low frequency. Now, BIP comes with some guardrails as well, so you can't export the number of records you want. It's limited. There is a query timeout as well, and that will maybe evolve over time. Some additional guardrail might come in the future. So definitely this is not a future-proof way to extract data. BICC is the recommended way for everything you can. And then the other ways we discussed today, HCM Extract, if you're on HCM FAW, if you bought FAW, definitely that's a future-proof way to go, and REST for some small amount of data.
And one quick comment on the missing, because BICC doesn't cover all the possible columns in the database. So usually the approach, if there's a missing data elements and that is required by a customer, the approach is to create an ID in Customer Connect, and if that ID gets traction, then maybe that column or that setup column will be added to the PVO and thus enriching the coverage of BICC.
Right. So over time, if you're requesting it and some other people will also want it, definitely that's something that will be evaluated, and we can add more content to BICC. The coverage is quite good now, though. So you should find most of what you're looking in BICC, and BIP should be really exceptional for a few missing things, right?
That's right.
Okay. I think we're done here. Thanks a lot for watching this video.
Thank you.
You can comment in the video below. You can like, of course, and you can follow the A-Team on our blog, on our YouTube channel, and on Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.
Thank you, Jerome. Bye-bye.